And we're live, Mr. Coop.
Sounds good.
How are you? Good morning, Mr. Wong.
No.
All right, let's get started.
Is it okay to be in our normal places?
Yeah.
I have like a system.
No, I think that's great. So we have our own line spots. All right, well, good morning. Happy Friday. I guess let's just start off with some announcements. One, let's end the week really strong as the first week instruction. Again, prioritizing routines and systems and just continuously going over those to really build those within. It's Friday, they're tired after the first long school week. I know we're feeling a little fatigued. Definitely let's break it today. Okay, so guided reading I want to discuss. So the structure should be set, especially with their notebooks. I think they really enjoyed them yesterday.
Yes.
Cool. So just continue to focus on double-sided quality post-its. That should be the priority, at least in this coming week, as you build your guided reading plans for next week. Just focus on that double-sided post-its from the text or a key detail, and then something about the text. Okay. That's also Bethany is rejoining us, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do her running record starting on Monday. Her mom will be in today. So if you see her, please give her a warm welcome. We'll be preparing for her return. Okay, so let's get started on math. Mr. Koo, how would you say this? What's the essence of this lesson?
Yeah, so we started expanded form yesterday. We're continuing to work on expanded form. When you think about this lesson, it's going forwards and backwards. So yesterday was taking the number from standard form and break it to standard form. And now we have to look at two different forms and then move it into average standard form for standard form, which is
definitely
both sides.
Something to focus on. I have three things that I want to focus on. One, the box method around the periods. They're struggling reading them. They read the number 326, and then they read the period 1,000, and then the rest of the number. Boxing that I think will be helpful. Also, reading numbers and then writing them is going to be a challenge for them just to pay attention to that. And also the both the comma rule for writing decimals, which they're not getting, and the hyphen rule. So just hit those two.
I'm going to stress that if you can master speaking it, then you're good. Because when you write it, you just say it how you speak it. So we're going to focus on
speaking it first and then writing it
down, and then you just have to listen to yourself.
Yeah, I've actually been calling scholars, so we just read numbers and columns.
Yeah.
Just really correcting them as they go.
Awesome. Yeah, because if they can't read it aloud, they're not going to write it.
Right.
Okay, so let's go through artifacts. I do number 1. So place value terms.
But I am re-emphasizing improving up the thousands and the periods because that's really important.
Yeah, I boxed them. I would recommend for the scholars who are struggling to read them, have them focus on it like that. Cool. Say it, then write it.
I actually didn't even think to do this until I read through the plan. I knew, but to me, I added them back together. Since this is broken apart, you can put it back together and get it. If you teach them that, be careful because there's a pitfall that they really need to learn everything on the right hand side.
Right. Cool. And they should see that theoretically, that's the reason why we're doing it. ID number 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's super important having them read, I think. If they can't read it, if they say too much period correctly, they're going to write the wrong number.
Yeah. And focusing on that hyphen that they're not getting, and they're also thinking of they have a comma here, and they should be writing a comma after the 1,000.
Oh, okay, I like that. You see it there.
Yeah. Okay, the next we do number 1.
Okay, so same deal, where the 1,000 is and the comma, that's where the period break is, so they just broke it up.
Yeah, I just did the same thing we did earlier. I circled instead of box, but if we want a box, I was box.
Yeah, when they give you word form, that's when they're going to particularly struggle to write the standard form. So by circling and boxing them, I think that'll be helpful to them. Yeah. Cool. And noting the comma there is also the comma that's going to be in your standard form. Okay, we do number 2.
Whoever should box it in the top of my shoulder.
Cool.
Right. I like that. Say
yeah. I think focusing on saying it's a good strategy. Great. We do number 3.
Digits. Thousands period. This is identifying periods.
Yeah. And this is very similar to we do number 2. Let's move on. Any other thoughts on math before we move on?
I think the speed at which they're working accurately is interesting. We've been getting into more independent practice, I think, just the amount of calls.
Yes, and I actually think that's due to your place value chart strategy and just like having them continuously write ones with the same abbreviations, O for ones, T for test. I introduced that yesterday. I thought it was really powerful.
Also, they did freak out when they had no place value charts and problem second combination. They were like, what?
Okay, you can imagine Eric's face.
I know.
Alright, so let's go to TA. So I have an anchor chart that I showed you this morning, Ms. McLean. I do want us focused on language with inferencing. Prior knowledge, background knowledge, to them that's going to be really hard. I want to focus on, we have a whole year for them to understand, to be able to learn to read at the levels that the state tests are. They need to, at this point, intellectually understand the concepts of key details and inferencing. So they need to be able to recite key details, who, what, where, when, why, and inferencing text plus prior knowledge. Keep your language consistent. That's why I want to use that anchor chart. I think that the anchor chart shows that it's the same language, have a half statement that should just be intellectually ingrained in them, and then we'll work on applying that intellectual framework to different texts. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the consistent language is big because sometimes it says prior knowledge, background information, background knowledge, so.
Right. Yeah, so let's pick one and stay with it. If it's prior knowledge or prior information, whatever you want to pick, just stay with it. All right, let's talk through this myth, Greek myth. So, Arachne. All right, so we have Arachne's skill challenges Athena. Right, and then yep, exact same thing. I wrote character, like problem, conflict, yeah.
That's good. Oh, right.
And then, as you said yesterday, like explains nature, like why spiders weave webs.
Right.
Okay, so number 1B. Why do spiders most likely weave beautiful webs? I thought D is going to teach her a lesson, but that's not really text-based.
Oh, you're right. I think that
Beautiful
would
webs is the most.
They might be thinking, oh, the spider, thinking arachne spiders are the same thing instead of like.
Oh, okay.
They're descendants from her.
Yeah, and them being very similar names is going to be a challenge for them. Number 2, get B, confusion of names. Who's who is going to be a challenge. Number 3, also B, because it's true, but it's not why Athena gets mad. Because Athena doesn't care when she gets trashed. We're on to Mark. This is going to be challenging for them. That's why I think like focusing on just, they need to understand what an inference is and then be able to apply it to Life on Mississippi. Yeah, this was a challenge. So in the first paragraph, if they always want to be steam. Yep, always want to be steamboat captains, then routine. They get training.
Yeah.
He learns it, right? Takes over.
Steers away from others.
Yeah, he's like not risky enough. Yeah, that guy yells at him. And then he.
What did you say?
I said like he learns lesson.
Okay.
So on the right side.
So it's like the dream.
Like the hook or the opening Y.
Oh, hook was
No, I think the dreams. I wrote dream, then I crossed it out because I didn't. Okay.
It's probably legitimately important to the steamboat, the fact that and also
And the
the
setting,
setting
yeah.
as well, yeah.
The setup, the rising action, the challenge, good. How it failed, and then an explanation or like reflection.
Okay.
Great. These multiple choice questions were rigorous. So 3, how did Mark Twain feel? I thought it's good. I think it's just going to be either really, they're going to think he was really positive or really negative and not in between. I think that's those that think it was like he's the best, they're going to view him through like loyalty and trust, but those who think that he's mean are going to think
now
he's.
Now that I'm thinking they go to B because he yelled because of his trouble.
But I think just like pointing them toward paragraph 5.
Oh,
okay. What happened just before Mark Twain took the wheel? Epic B. Yeah, so that's what happened right after. Yeah, same thing. 3. I think they're gonna get this one. I think that's like the.
I don't.
You don't think so?
I think they'll all say 6.
Why do you think
because
that?
it says the words "I decided to be," and like which paragraph predicts whether he'll be a single pilot or not. I decided.
But that should be after. I mean, it's wrong because it's after. It's after
I
he
think
decides.
it's going to be challenging for them.
But it's D because D is wrong because it's after.
Right, I had a hard time explaining because it's like it seems like it's right because he explicitly says what he decided. So I said that the statement is meant to show that the water required to pilot upstream A is better because it's how he felt about the experience.
Okay. Okay, I'll be prepared for
whatever,
that.
we'll see.
And for, yep, see, same thing. It shows how others feel. Right. What I did for this was really challenging. What I did for this was just write the flippant answer.
Oh, okay.
Just because that's what they're
Like
gonna.
the topics.
Yeah. So Twain's feelings change because at first he's blank, but then he's blank.
So I want to ask you because it's like, why do they change? Not in what way does it change or how does it change? Because in the answer key in the lesson, it's like first he felt this way, but then he felt that way.
I see.
To me, that's like how.
So the reason is because he's dangerous.
I don't
because
know.
it's dangerous and difficult.
I think why did he change? Yeah, because he learns like how hard it is and he doesn't have the.
Right. Fair enough. Clean it up. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's probably right. I'm gonna change that.
Nice to meet
It took me so long, and I crossed it out and I changed.
So it changes because
I said
he realized that it's dangerous.
and difficult. Evidence being it all comes from that.
So I guess like beforehand he thinks it's glorious and easy, and now he thinks it's dangerous and challenging.
Well,
or like he thinks
it's dangerous
right.
because he says whatever, how do you get into this water or whatever.
Right.
And he thinks it's difficult for me.
Okay.
I don't see anything on how he felt before and after. To me, that was like challenging.
Let's move to content. So let's start with social studies.
Great. Social studies today, they get to use their textbooks for the first time, which will be super exciting. They're learning 4 basic vocabulary words in terms of landforms. Just making sure it's for you. For people, scholars like Jason, who would have a harder time recalling vocab, it also has pictures so they can refer back to it for examples as well. But basic recall in terms of the continents and different types of landforms. So using that, so today they're practicing looking at nonfiction sources and gathering information from this, so finding vocabulary words, identifying definitions, skills that they can use across all subjects. So big emphasis on just the process of it, not just like what they can refer back. Like yes, it's important they know the definitions, but the skill of actually looking back into the text, find answers is what we're looking for. So in prepping, it's a lot of just knowing the answers to the questions, going through one of the major bodies of water, the capitals, things that we know off the top of our head, just really emphasizing there. Just thinking forward into the unit, they will be assessed on this next week. A lot of it is not so much recall what this word means, but more so the process of why we use maps, or why it's important to understand these terms.
Great. And just like a quick note, we spoke about this. I want the focus to be on content-based language. So they're intellectually going to understand what like a country and a continent is. I think we want to push like the actual vocab so that they have the vocabulary for those tests and just for their own, knowledge.
One quick note about this lesson, since it is the first time we're doing textbooks, just to have the exact like walk through when we can touch it, where it will be, on your lap, on the desk. Do you have any tips from like 6th grade? I assume they use.
We didn't use textbooks in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. So it was a problem last year because they have their binder on their desk and then they're turning the book and then they're turning the page. And then while you're talking, there's a lot of moving. So what we ended up saying was keep the book on your lap and it was okay to keep your chair slid out. But when we come back together, we know there's a lot of stuff that you're dealing with, so just make sure your hands are folded on your desk so we can tell you're still.
That's how you super helpful.
A quick note before I forget for TA, I forgot to mention, for the new scholars, hold them to the show response format. Hold all your scholars, but particularly the new ones. I had like Ricky write something from his old school in the margins that helped him. Teach them the new way, teach them what we do. So just let's move to science.
Great. Science, super exciting. This is the first, they've been working with lab partners, and they've been working with lab groups, so groups of 4 or 5. So we're going to start off with assigning lab jobs. So we'll have recorders, we'll have data gatherers, we'll have different, we'll have materials experts. So we're going to have them practice measuring. We've been doing a lot of quantitative versus qualitative. We're moving towards quantitative and trying to have them tie in why quantitative measures are for science.
So how does this build off the qualitative quantitative from yesterday?
Yeah, over the past 2 lessons. So yesterday we moved on to quantitative. So we had them measure their desk with both paper clips and then a ruler. And they came to the conclusion that rulers were better because they're a standard form as opposed to paper clips, which come in different sizes. So today we're practicing using with mass, which will be super exciting because we're going to measure mass in multiple ways. This really actually is the first time they get to go hands-on, which will tie into the assessment at the end of the year, so they can see the hands-on part, which a lot of it requires them to be able to observe and make conclusions. So today they're going to be measuring different objects you find in classrooms, such as markers, pencils, and that nature, and they have to fit into a certain range when they measure. So just a lot of expectations in terms of what they're supposed to do, but also how they're going to record data. To help with clutter, we're going to have one data gatherer. So they're going to write down all the data, and then the other scholars will collaborate and share.
Have you thought through groups for both classes?
Yes, I have. In terms of both location, 2 of the scales actually have to be plugged in, so just location in terms of outlets as well.
Great. Let's move to writing, simple lesson publishing. I'm going to pull 3 scholars for like a handwriting workshop because some of them are struggling. This is how he's struggling with B's versus D letters. I'm going to...
I said the same thing for Emmanuel, and I noticed he wrote something, and I asked him to rewrite it, and the way he wrote his bar was like completely backwards. So I think that was helpful.
Cool. Great. Sounds good.
There's also someone who's really high, and I want to push her to get like 100% mistakes. Oh, that's awesome.
So let's just, let's see. So we spoke this morning, this was planned about reading and how, so like themes, I think your anchor chart's going to be really helpful. I do want to push theme past like platitudes. So just like what is causing her, it's not like friendship because the dog's a good dog. It's like she's lonely and he fills the void in her life, and pushing it past that like bumper sticker is going to be important. I think your anchor chart will help. Cool. You want to go over main idea?
Sure. Opal has a conversation with Winn-Dixie while she is cleaning him that gives her the courage she needed to ask the preacher 10 facts about her mama that left.
Okay, very similar. While Opal cleans Winn-Dixie, she discusses her mother's abandonment and resolves to ask the preacher for 10 things about her. Same thing. Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
One thing I noticed in looking through my sticky notes from last year was that I had more questions about if theme relates to your life, and asked yourself like, if this relates to my business, relates to my life. I didn't see it in the plan, so I don't know where it must. I don't know, but it had a lot of good, created a lot of good conversation. But like, oh, I felt lonely this time, so this could be a good.
Cool. Or I felt friendship because.
Oh, right.
Or yeah, awesome. We have a, that's it. We have a, just packets this afternoon. Otherwise, we're good on time, good timing. And any other questions?
We got to figure out who.
Awesome. That was great.
All right.